Hey, good morning, everybody. What's happening? Oh, man, I put a white shirt on today in these lights. Put it a little low. Good to see everybody back in the building. Good to see everybody back in the building. What up, cousin? G Rob in the building. Toronto Riggins in the building. Oh man, we got some questions in the house today. Some deep questions. What up, Health Talk? What up, sis Monique? Hey, boo. What up, Bobby? Oh, man. Yeah, that's a little catchy, right? When I first heard it, I like, yo, this is the one. I like this one. Oh, man. What y'all do yesterday on y'all day off? Y'all, who got a little more sleep? Who went to the gym? Hey, no worries, bro. That's what we do. That's what we do. And matter of fact, this show is probably for you, my guy. I'm just gonna be honest with you. We talking about. I know you see the headline says the best gift ever. We're gonna talk about the best gift ever, but it's gonna fall right along with your question, man. As I'm sitting there looking at it now, it's definitely gonna fall in line with the question. And so we talked about, over the last month or so now, the communication in the relationships, the interpersonal communications, and Monday was just, I don't know. Monday was kind of an anomaly for me. So many moving pieces. And they say the dawn is darkest just before the dawn, meaning so much stuff hits you right before you get your breakthrough. So many things jump on your plate. So many people get on your nerves. So many things just happen in life right before you get the reward, right before you get the prize. I remember I used to have this old pastor. He used to talk about, unless a seed fall to the ground and die, oh, it can't become what it's supposed to be, which means there's a process. There's this thing that we have to go through. There's these hurdles. There's these obstacles, these barriers we got to learn and figure out. These lessons we got to learn. And a lot of times, they hurt. A lot of times they take a lot out of us. But on the other side of that pain is joy. Because if every day was a sunny day, then what's a sunny day? Come on now, Vampire and Brooklyn fans. Evil is good. But yeah, we're going to talk about it, man. We're going to definitely talk about it. For those of you who may not have caught it, D-Rob asked the question, how do you accept the past and get over it? How do you accept the past and get over it? That's pretty much the question on the table for today. That's going to be our overall arching theme because it ties right into the best gift ever. And I chose the topic because we're going into the holiday season. We talked about who gonna check me, boo. Monday was that show where I was trying to get into it, but my mind, I couldn't get my mind right. It worked out okay, I think, but so many more things I could have done with that. But can't win them all. You have those days. But the point remains: we are going into the holidays. We are in the full swing of the holiday. We're making plans to go see relatives. Relatives are coming to see us, and there's going to be some awkward conversations, some awkward times, and when is there a good time to just to draw that line in the sand and say, look, Auntie, I'm sick and tired of you doing A, B, and C. I'm grown now. I need you to back up. And don't say the words, I need you to stay in your place, Auntie. Don't say those words. Never tell an auntie stay in her place. You might get you might see the lightning. Yeah, but good advice though. That your girl said one day at a time. Toronto Riggins said surround yourself around positive people. Pray, pray, pray. Remember that we all have human moments. It's okay to have a moment, but don't stay there too long. Good advice. Good advice. Good advice. So I want you to think back. Think back to your favorite Christmas gift. I don't care how old you were. You could have been, if you can remember back to 5, it could have been something that you were given at 5. It could have been something you were given by a high school sweetheart or your husband on your first Christmas. It could be anything that you received on Christmas. What was your absolute favorite Christmas gift? Monique said, now you ain't got to be rude. Say it politely. Look. I have a very polite voice most of the time. But when I get there, that polite is what we call, can I be frank? Meaning, I'm about to tell you something respectfully. Now, I hope you don't take it wrong, but I don't care if you do at this point. This is what it is. That's my polite voice with people that they've struck that last nerve. Before I get into the old bag, the old, pre-middle school. No, that old middle school. Middle school when you first learn how to cuss. I turn back into that kid. I be putting the wrong words together sometime. But it'd be hilarious. Man. That voice had that bass. Or that bass in the boo. Inside joke. So I'm grown now. Toronto Riggins says a jam doll. Wait, what is a jam doll? I would think we're somewhere around the same age group, but that don't even sound familiar. What's a jam doll? See, do I gotta Google this? Let me see. Jam doll. Man, I'm getting all kind of Japanese currency to US the currency. Okay, you gotta be a little more specific for that one. Because people always think I'm rude. I just get to the point. Oh, Monique, that was for you. Oh, you got to say it politely. I got you. D-Rob says a watch case. Okay, a watch case. That's interesting. How old were you when you received that gift? Add that to it. Add how old you were when you received the gift. I think that'll give more context. Jam doll. I don't know what a jam doll is. Now, just being crazy, but is that like a doll that you could like put jam and gel on the hair? I'm a dude. I don't know. Didn't play with dolls much. I didn't even have many action figures. It's a punk rock doll. Oh, what had the colorful hair? I think I remember that. think I vaguely remember that now. Oh, whole 6 watches. I got you. Yeah, I saw a nice watch case. Oh yeah, I see it. I see it now. Okay, I do remember those. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm not even gonna ask why yet. I'm gonna ask you though, so be prepared to give me that answer. Kay says, I got a baby alive and an easy bake oven. Girl, you got the easy bake oven and the baby alive. You about to be a full-time mama. You about to be feeding and changing this baby all day. She said, I fed my baby all the food that came with her and cooked all the stuff in my easy bake oven in 2 days. I was probably about 4 or 5. Oh, yeah. Oh man, the easy bake oven take me back. But nah, I got you. I got you, Toronto. I ain't gonna do you like that. I'm just saying. That's having a gift be considered your favorite. That's a special place. It's a special place. I'm always curious why certain gifts matter than other gifts. Because let's be honest, we get stuff all the time. Whether from our parents, whether our significant others, spouses, kids, we're always getting something. That's why she's an amazing doula. That's right. That's right. Although, I don't know. Maybe we should have had the easy bake oven yesterday and she had some chili and she ain't bring me none. Maybe we could have easy bake oven some of that. That's right. I'm talking about it. Oh, man. I sat in the house damn near about right to death. Oh, man. Oh, I love it. I love it. So anybody else? We got 2 easy bake ovens. We got the watch case, the baby alive, and the jam doll. Now, Toronto, you said don't ask you why? Because you don't know or you don't want to talk about it? No chili for you. Soup Nazi. For me, I was 10. It was 10. I was 10. And you know when you grew up in the low income communities, well, at least back then. Now it's a little different. But back then, if you grew up around projects, you was poor. It wasn't a whole lot of money coming in. And so you Jimmy rigged a lot of stuff. I'm gonna call it Jimmy rigged today. You Jimmy rigged a lot of stuff. She said, I don't want to talk about it. Good, don't worry about it. But you Jimmy rigged a lot of stuff. And so we had hand-me-down everything. We were thrifting before thrifting was a popular thing to do. My mom went to the yard sales on Saturday mornings and I used to get jeans for 25 cents. I got a pair of y'all remember these shoes? Cougars. Cougars make your feet feel fine. Cougars cost $1.99. I had a pair of Cougars, man. My mom got from the yard sale for like $3. I had about 3 pair of 25-cent jeans, couple of shirts, 10, 15 cents a piece. And they was fly until you sweat it. You got hot and you sweat in them, then you smell the last person's body sitting in it. It's like, But anyway, I'm saying all that to say. On my 10th birthday, I got my first LA Gear sneakers. Yeah. I got my first brand new bicycle. It was a yellow Huffy bike. It had y'all remember the mag wheels, but it was the solid plate. It had that going on. It had like a little red. You didn't watch it, bro. It had the y'all, wow. It had a little red couple of stripes around the middle bar. Man, I opened my door. And I walked into the living room and I saw that bike sitting there. My heart stopped. It was like the best present ever. Man, I didn't care about nothing else under that tree. I got that bike. I was outside riding that bike in December in my little pajamas, riding back up and down the street. They had to make me come in the house to change clothes just to go back outside and ride, because I love that bike so much. Somebody had the bee kickers, the British Nikes. Oh, that chick you had the double shoestring. Yeah. Now that's how you look. You can have some off-brand stuff. You can have some even some knockoff stuff. But if you know how to drip on them a little bit, add a little sauce to it, you make them things hot. Pink. Oh, and they lit up. Oh, you was doing it big time. So my little Huffy bike, it was the first brand new bike that I'd ever gotten. Everything else had been either given to me by somebody or found, and we just found parts and we Frankensteined it up. It was a beautiful bike. And I couldn't wait to ride, cross the street to the projects and show my cousins my new bike. And I get over there and they got a new bike. My cousin Derek got a new bike too. So, bruh, all of a sudden we got freedom. Now when we go out and play, we can actually go a little bit further and get back a little bit faster. That bike, man, it was freedom. It was total freedom for a kid who was relegated to the porch, to the 3-4 houses, in this little piece of the block. If you go too far that way, you're going to get in trouble. If you go too far that way, it's boring. So you just stay in this one little area. And that was I truly believe, the first time I felt free. As a kid, I felt like life was good. So what was the deal, D-Rob? What was the deal with your watch case? Why was it your best gift? Why was it the most special? Why was it the most memorable one? And Toronto Riggins for you too. Why was that dog? Don't tell me why you was liking them like that, but what made it so memorable that it's considered your best gift? That's another way to say it. The Easy Bake Oven, K, you was 4 or 5. Why do you remember that Easy Bake Oven, that baby alive doll? Why? What made it memorable? For me, mine was freedom. It was my first feeling of freedom. And where I'm going with this, I think there's an overall theme. And I think everybody is searching for it. But very few people actually realize what it is. Because it hides in plain sight. It hides behind other things and is not truly understood. But everybody wants it. Everybody wants it. So I'm just curious, what made those gifts so memorable? Especially if you were okay. It had D-Rob engraved on the glass. And so how old were you? It had D-Rob engraved on the glass. I can see it now. So I can imagine this was the first thing that you received that was engraved. It had your name on it. It was special. Which means it stuck out more. So which means it's cherished. I see it. I see it. And so I imagine you might have been what, an adult, 19, 20, somewhere in that space, in that range? Last year, okay, yeah, so 28-ish? Yeah, okay, I see it. So it had a significance to it. Because a watch case, that means your taste has changed. Your you are being, you open to some new stuff, some adult stuff, some mature vibes. And so now this is a piece that just signifies something, that feeling. And so for me, that feeling was freedom. Now I've had a lot of birthdays and Christmases. I've gotten a lot of gifts, but very few gifts stick out to me like that Huffy bike, which I only kept for about 3 months, maybe 3 months. I didn't have it long. Matter of fact, I don't think it saw spring because it was knockoff. It was cheap made. And we were outside popping wheelies and doing all kind of stuff the kids do on the bikes. And I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm not sure if it's in one of those wheelies or, sometimes y'all ride in circles, y'all kind of collide into each other. But anyway, some impact happened and the freaking bike broke in half. The bike broke, and the bike literally, where so you can see it's welded on the joints? The bike literally broke in half. My favorite gift ever received, I didn't keep it a year. Didn't have it a whole year. So what do parents say? Oh, y'all tear up everything. No, you ain't getting another one. And so it was a while before I got another bike. Although I did Frankenstein some bikes together, but still today, that is one of my best gifts ever. Kay said, I never believed in Santa Claus as a child. Because of that, Christmas, my dad worked as a patrol officer overnight and saw him bring in my, oh. So you saw your dad. Oh, wow. She saw her dad bring in the gifts to her grandma's house, and it felt more special. Wow, wow. Okay. Most people would be disappointed that there was no Santa Claus. You was even more impressed because it was your dad. I like that. Shout out to Pop. Shout out to UK. Toronto Riggin says, it meant a lot to me because it was a gift that I asked for. A gift that you asked for. And knowing how hard my parents worked to get it for me. Wow. Because they had other kids to shop for. Man, y'all was some mature kids. Dang. Monique says, I enjoyed the Beverly Cleary and Judy Blume book collections. I love reading, and it allowed me to use my imagination. Those are classic books. Not a reader back then, so I can't say I've read any of them. However, I bought them for my children. Very good books, very classic book. Kay said, that's my dog. That's my dog. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I initially was going to name the show A Dream Realized. But then I thought about it. The best gift ever. As y'all know, we've been working on this house thing since probably October. And last Friday, we got the paperwork that we were going into closing. And yesterday, we officially closed. We officially closed on the house yesterday. We got the keys. We was in there doing all kind of work. And I must say, it was the best feeling ever. Watching my wife smile, watching her light up, the excitement, the energy. Even our realtor, I mean, she was in there. I mean, I felt like we should dedicate a room to our realtor. We gonna name a suite after our realtor, man, just because she fought so hard with us through the process. She's going through her own processes in life, but she never was not there for us. She asked the hard questions. She gave us insights to what we would need to know. She even gave us a gift basket. Now her husband gonna take us out for dinner, And it's not gonna be a small commission check, so she can probably afford it. However, it's just like she's been there every step of the way, and she set a bar for what I think a realtor should be, and I haven't experienced that before. I've experienced, people doing a little, they just doing a job. They're not doing something that they love doing. And I was sitting back last night because we were there late. The cable guy was supposed to be there around 4 o'clock to install our cable, or our internet. And this joker he didn't show up. He did not show up. Literally, he didn't show up. So we there last night at 8, 9 o'clock looking like, man, this guy not coming. There's no furniture in the spot. We brought a couple of chairs with us, and I went and grabbed some food, but we just sitting there in our house. Oh man, yeah, we got a couple rooms, man. We got a couple rooms. It's enough for everybody to get one. And just know when you're gone, another nameplate gonna slide in the door. Man. But the fact that I was sitting in my house, next to my wife in a stable relationship, the best gift ever was not that huffy bike, wasn't the house we were sitting in yesterday. The best gift ever was peace. I think we all looking for peace. I think we all want to find peace. And it comes in different forms. We may not recognize it for what it is. But at the end of the day, it's peace. We want to get into relationships that are peaceful. We want to get into careers that give us peace. They provide for us and take away the stress of the days, of the not having the money, not having the resources. We want peace. We want peace in our heart. As a little kid, man, I told you, I didn't live in the project. So this is the way our community was set up. We lived like right here on this little strip where my finger is. Then the projects were sitting over here. But my street was the street that really separated the projects from the well-to-do community. The white picket fence yards, 2-car garages and dogs and kids. My street was like that border. And so I got a chance to, when I would go to the bus stop, I stand at the corner and I just look up the hill and I would see this big 2-story house. It was blue with black shutters. It had house probably maybe 3,500 square foot. Had a white picket fence surrounding the whole property. And it was on the corner and cars would drive out each side of it. And across the street from there was a 2-story brick house and so on and so forth down the streets of all these houses. And me and my cousin, we would miss the bus sometimes. And so we had to walk to school. School was probably maybe a 2-mile walk, but it never felt like a long walk. A country mile is different than a city mile. But it didn't feel like a long walk. And we were 10, 11 years old walking to school. And I would walk through these communities and I would see all these houses. And I would always ask myself, why don't the houses we live in look like that? I want a house like this one. That's my house right there. We used to be pulling out the houses. That's my car. That's my house. Y'all used to do that too when y'all was kids? Sounds like Deer Croft. Yeah. I used to always get caught up thinking about, because I would go to my cousin's house who actually lived in the projects, and then I'd leave their house and I come to my house, which was basically a shotgun house, and there's a whole row of shotgun houses. I mean, the houses are probably maybe 1,000 square foot, but it's just a square. The front door and back door basically lined up, and there's a little room off to the side. And you had your living room, dining room, kitchen, and then 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. That's basically where I grew up most of my life. Oh, that 4-wheel riding. But yesterday, for me, was the realization of a dream. It was a realization of a dream. And because I took the back way, I took the long road, I took the harder path to get there. But when I got there, I felt nothing but peace. Peace in my life. Because I'm older, I was able to to choose better, make better decisions. But D-Rob asked the question early on. He says, how do you get past it? How do you get past, how do you accept and get past it? How do you, basically what he's saying is, how do you get past the pain of remembering what was? How do you get your peace back? How do you get your peace back when you've seen something that you thought was real, but then it goes away? How do you find peace again? How do you get the best gift ever? Life is fluid. Look, I got y'all on the path, on the trail. Y'all reminiscing for sure. But that's good, because you know what that energy does? You know what reminiscing does? You see, for all the bad times, there's equally as many good times. What trips us up sometimes is the expectation. We have unmet expectations. When things don't go exactly the way we plan for it to go, it makes us feel a way. So when you've had that kind of event happen in your life, it could be a breakup, it could be a divorce. I met a guy yesterday who lost a child. And he admitted that he was struggling because of the loss of the child, loving the next one. And he wants to fix that. But loss sometimes does weird things to us. And so one of the first things I always try to do whenever there's some kind of a loss, when there's some kind of situation that happens and I have no control over it, is the first thing I try to do is I acknowledge it. I acknowledge that it happened. I know a young lady. She's a full-grown woman, but I call her a young lady. She was walking around fine, vibrant, living her best life. And then she was afflicted with an autoimmune disease. And now she's 80% bedridden. You see, you don't know what life's going to throw at you. You just don't know. You don't know. So you have to be vigilant. What is the word? Vigilant? Why does that sound wrong coming up my mouth right now? I think it's right, vigilant, but it sounds wrong coming out for some reason. Maybe it's not the word I want to use. You have to be dedicated. You have to be intentional. You have to be focused on the things you want. And if some don't work out, cool. Acknowledge it. It didn't work out. It wasn't the right person. It wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right opportunity. Even though I really wanted it to be, it wasn't right. So I'm grateful. Remember all the gratitudes that we used to do? All the affirmations we used to do? That's what these are for. When you get into those spaces, vigilant. Vigilant. What was I saying? Spell what I was saying. I wasn't saying vigilant. Okay, I got you. Vigilante. Okay. But no, you have to really decide. But it's actually no step. So first, acknowledging it. I have a general rule: 24 hours. Whenever there's something going on in my life, I give myself 24 hours to feel it. 24 hours to feel, to have the pity party, to go do the woe is me's. 24 hours to just be human. 24 hours is really all I give myself. And then I pick myself up and I try to forgive me. Oh, I said vigilant. Gotcha. That's why I started wrong coming out. Okay, thank you. See, I got some smart people in this community, man. They keep you boys straight. I appreciate it. Shout out to y'all. Yes. And Jamon, bruh, get it right. Get it right, dude. Get it right. Forgive yourself. Forgive the other person. Life happens. We're all human. But along with that forgiveness, we can't play the blame game. We can't play the blame game. It's their fault. It's my fault. No. Forgiveness means I'm letting it go. Yes, it happened. It happened. But I'm letting it go. They didn't want me in that position. Cool. Well, I'm going to go find a way to add more value so I can go. If I want that position, I'm going to find ways to add more value so I can go get that somewhere else. If it's not meant to be here, I'm cool with that. But guess what? There's other companies, and more than likely, I'll make more money. Because do you realize when you I'm sure that chick Yo definitely knows this, but when you work for a company, they have a increase. Sometimes it's called a cost of living increase, right? However, you get slowly incremented up in pay raise. But if you just go to a whole nother company, you'll go in at a much higher salary for the same job. It's weird how that works. So it's almost like it's baked in for us to have to change jobs or change companies to advance our careers. Monique says, my brother and sister-in-law are foster parents and had to return young siblings. Oh, man. Yeah, I've seen that. That's the worst. Who they had for 11 months to the grandmother. It was hard, but that's part of fostering. Yeah, you have to accept it. Yeah. I've seen it, man. I saw this one couple, because of the space that I'm in. I'm around DSS and CPS a lot. And I'll have people come through my classes, and they'll say, yeah, I'm a new foster parent. And one couple had this kid for 2 years. 2 years. And then the mom, I guess she finally got her stuff back together, enough to where the court said that she could have her kid back. And that was the most painful thing, because the lady couldn't have any children. So fostering was their way of having children without having children. And when I tell you, they were devastated because the child was really 1 year old when they got him. So they done got him through the terrible twos, got him in the toddlerhood. The child is calling her mom, and it's just, wow. It was tough. It was tough. So yeah, so you got to accept it. You got to acknowledge it, and you got to forgive whoever, whatever. And the third step is you have to decide to move on. Now, I know that sounds a little more complicated than it is. But no, when I say decide, I don't mean erase the emotions, erase the feelings. I'm like, no, make a conscious decision to say, okay, I was going to Atlanta, but you know what? I'm going to Nashville instead. And so in order to make a decision, you have to change highways. So if you're still going to the same bars or restaurants or parks that this person went to, then you haven't made a decision just yet. If you're still going to the same conferences, if you're still hanging out the same social spaces as your former employer, you really haven't made, you may have left the company, but you still kind of got your eyes over the fence. And the grass always looks greener on the other side. I promise you it do. But the greenest grass is the grass you water. And if somebody else's grass is greener, it's probably because they watering it a little bit more. Or it could be turf. It could be fool's gold. D-Rob said, my brother and sister were foster kids, and my folks took them in now. They have our last name, been in the family 6-7 years. Oh, awesome. Yeah, man, sometimes it do work out that way. I know a couple of cases that worked out that way as well. They were able to actually fully adopt. And so those are the best circumstances. You have children, and it's a really good blend. And that is a tough blend. It's a perilous path sometimes. It's actually longer than that. Okay. Monique says we had a Christmas for them Saturday. Hey, yeah. Oh, man. Same old baby girl was 2 months old. Brother was 2. They understand the assignment. They adopted their first son as a newborn. Yeah. It's always tough. And so after you make the decision though, now you kind of start, that's where you seek support. You seek support. Nobody that's gonna put a battery in your back and say, man, go back and get that job back, man. Go back and get that girl back, girl. You better go get your man. No, you don't need them kind of people. If you've made the decision already. Now, if you ain't made your decision and you want to go fight for whatever it is, then that's that's a whole nother topic. But if you've moved on from a thing, you made the decision. Now you need to get around people, as Toronto Riggins said earlier. You need to get around people that support you, that that will be there for you to lean on when you have those times. Because we all have those lonely days, those regretful days, those days when this thing or person just will not leave our mind. That's it. You got to move forward, not backwards. Oh man, it was that first time going through the return. Wow. And so this is when I go back into the personal development space just for a hot second. When you make that decision and you have those lonely days, when you have those days when you just can't seem to focus, that's when we talk about the word transmutation. Transmuting, meaning taking the energy that you feel and putting that energy into something else. I heard a guy say one time to create from your emotion, but don't post or do social media through your emotion. Create the content, create the book or the post or whatever it is you're doing. Create it using your emotion, but don't post out of emotion. There's a difference. Especially, as that yo just said, the pain isn't always your fault. Especially when there's nothing that you did. There's nothing that you could have done better. If you don't know that something needs to be worked on, if you don't know that this autoimmune disease is coming down the pipe, if you don't know that your company is about to be bought out by another company and you're going to lose your job along with other people, if you don't know, if you didn't contribute to it, and it's not your fault, it's tough. It's tough. But you got to put one foot in front of the other. You got to feel the disappointment. Yes, for sure. Feel the sadness. Yes. But if it's a job, you can't stay down too long because bills don't care. Bills do not care. Your children don't. Mama, I'm sorry your heart hurting. Daddy, I'm sorry your heart hurting, but we hungry. You still got to keep it together. And don't spend years of your life lamenting a relationship. Lamenting a relationship. I tell you about my mother and my father, man. My mother and father have been apart now just as much time, just as long as they were together. And my mom still laments their relationship. And she's given so much energy, so much mental space to what could have been, what should have been. If he had done more of this, then I would have been able. That's not healthy for anybody. My mom, in my eyes, and most people around her will say, she's lived a pretty good life. But in her eyes, she doesn't see it that way. Because the relationship was the most important thing to her. I think it's what gave her her identity in a lot of ways. And when it was over, she was happy that it was over. And she had a party and all that good stuff. But she never truly got over it. She never truly got past it. 20-some years later, and she still, has those unhealthy feelings about it. Don't let that be your story. I don't know who's hearing my voice right now. It may not be in a relationship space. It may be with your health. It may be with your job. It may be with your children. Don't get into a space where you can't let go of something that didn't work out. It's a life drain and a time suck. It will rob you of the joy of your life, the years that you have. And it will fill you with so many regrets that you can't see which way is up. So when you have those lonely moments, when you have those times when you're missing that person, when you're missing that paycheck, use that energy to do something else. I don't care if you're cleaning your house. Go clean the best house you ever cleaned. Go write a better resume. Go sell yourself. Go take a course. I meant sell yourself in the work world, like getting a job on an application or social media, connections and networks, not like the other kind of sell yourself. Just want to put that out there because that's a profession these days too. Actually, it's the oldest profession. So, but I'm talking about, more wholesome things. I hope. But yeah, so use that energy. Don't let that energy go to waste because we are emotional creatures. I'm glad you said it. I ain't want to say it no more. I've been chastised for saying it too much, that word too much. So that chick, yo, thank you. That's why you my cousin. You feel me. You know what I'm saying. Toronto Regan says, don't let your past be kryptonite to your future. And that's all it is. Life happens to us all. See, the goal is peace. And whatever you need to do to maintain your peace, because there's no feeling like it. When you out here trying to compete, when you out here, I appreciate you. When you out here trying to live your best life based off somebody else's thought of what the best life is, based off what the culture says the best life is. When you're happy within yourself first, it's easier to have peace. But if you have some things in your heart that ain't quite worked out, it could cause a little confusion sometimes. It could give you a little cognitive dissonance. But that's what the affirmations are for. That's what the gratitudes are for. Being grateful for what you have. Because let's be honest, at least everybody in this room, we have a lot to be grateful for. We've done things that we never thought we would be able to do. We've done things people said we couldn't do. We've had every reason to stop, but we kept going. That's why when I say it, I'm grateful for my hard times. Because had it not been for the hard times, the pain was what pushed me. Because comfort would have kept me in quicksand. Comfort would have made me relax and chill, but the pain kept pushing me forward. And that's what I want you to know, man. The pain is going to get you to the peace that you're looking for. Because it's the pain that teaches us. So back to the beginning, when that old pastor told me, unless a seed fall to the ground and die. He said it just like that too. As a seed fall to the ground and die. It can't become something else, right? Meaning change is inevitable. Change is going to happen regardless. Regardless. And I'm fortunate now that I've made so many mistakes. I failed so many times. So many times I thought I would never get it right. But guess what? You only got to get it right once. You only got to get it right once. The right person one time. Just find the right person. You just got to hit once. Yeah, you're going to fail a lot. All these business ideas, all these creative things you have going on in your life, keep trying, keep going. Because you just got to hit once. I mean, ask any lottery winner. Now, they hit once and they just keep going back. They try to make lightning strike twice. Lightning rarely strike twice in the same place. However, the odds are always, as the Hunger Game would say, may the odds be ever in your favor. Because all you got to get it right is one time. And this crazy part is, once you go through all the pain, once you go through all the self-improvement, Once you go through all the lonely nights and the late nights and the early mornings because you can't sleep, your mind is occupied. I know. Self-medication. I know. I've been there. Once you've been through all of that, life still ain't gonna leave you alone. However, somewhere in there, the things that matter most start to fall into place. Things that matter most fall into place. And then this feeling of peace rushes over you. I didn't realize till yesterday, sitting in my house with my wife. No furniture. No Wi-Fi. I was more at peace in that moment than I have been probably in most of my life. And then it dawned on me, I've been at peace probably the last 2 years. I just didn't recognize it because other things was happening around it. So the realization of a dream, that slow walk to discovery, it's priceless. You can't put a dollar amount on it. It's priceless. And you don't recognize it when you're going through it. But you get to a moment and you have this clarity that opens up and you realize, like I realized, I've been at peace for about 2 years now. Literally, I've been at peace. I am satisfied with my relationships, my connections, my friendships. I'm working on some other relationships, but I'm at peace. Not with them, with me. I'm at peace with me. So to me, that is my best gift ever. It's not the house. I love the house. It wasn't the Huffy bike. I love that Huffy bike. But the best gift ever was peace within myself. I no longer feel the need to fight. I no longer feel the need to argue. I no longer feel the need to justify or search for validation. I am at peace with me. And whatever comes, because I'm at peace, I'm going to handle it. And then I hit right with my wife. And then I hit right with some other things, right? So it's like, oh, man. It's the best gift ever, man. It is the best gift ever. Best gift ever. And I'm happy to share it with you guys. I'm happy to have these epiphanies, these realizations with a community that's so supportive, that understands, that's also aspiring for their own peace and sharing their own wisdom and building their own relationships. Monique says, normalize therapy if needed. Right. Pain creates a new version of you. You know what, Mo? Oh, we just talked about that the other day too. Isn't it funny? The things you use to protect yourself from your past or from bad relationships also can be the thing that hinders you going forward in your new relationships. That's why it's so important to have peace. That's why it's so important to get healing, to be healed, to have therapy, to work through things, to not put up all the armor and all the barriers and pull all the swords out, right? Because if we are using coping mechanisms to go into new relationships, those relationships are going to struggle from day one and most likely will not survive. So what you needed to protect yourself over here is unnecessary when you hit right. You don't need it. So now you spend the first 7 years in a new relationship peeling off the old stuff that you use for protection over here. It's wild. It's wild how that happens. But peace. Peace. One of my favorite things to say, especially when I'm going through it, is when I'm going through stuff. When there's a lot on my plate, when there's a lot of moves that need to be made and I'm struggling to make them because sometimes there's so many, is the serenity prayer. That is almost the perfect prayer. It covers so much in a couple little lines. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Wow. Whenever I'm going through, I have learned to control the things that I can control. I may not control how I'm feeling in a moment, but I can control what I do with it. I can control whether I pick up the phone call and I curse somebody out. I can control whether I go slap somebody. I can control if I'm going to go spend every money that I know I shouldn't be spending, or I'm going to go eat crazy. Control what you can control. That courage, if you change the things that you can, but if some things, nothing I can do about that. Polar tank. I used this analogy once upon a time, and I won't say it exactly how I use it, but I'm gonna give you another version of it. You can't get mad at a toddler that's teething because they drool. No one can, how foolish of you to get mad at a toddler because they're drooling. So what do? You accept the fact that this child is drooling, and you go get a cloth and you just keep wiping their mouth, right? That's all you can really do. You accept it for what it is. And that's what our lives are most of the time. I can't accept if my wife one day, which you know what, she gonna get mad at me for even saying this. I can't accept that anybody that I was with before my wife decided not to be with me. I can't change that. Nothing I can do about that. If a person decides they don't want to be in your life, if a company decides they don't no longer want you in their service or employing you or to pay you, nothing you can do. I can't control that situation. But what I can control is my value proposition. What I can control is how I respond, how I react. If it's out of my control, hey man, polar tank. They can't help they slow. They don't know what they just passed up. They don't know what a great deal they walked away from. But guess what? The party ain't gonna stop because I know, because I'm at peace with me. So that's the best gift ever, ladies and gentlemen. Peace within yourself. And since this is the Christmas season and the Christmas holidays, peace on earth, goodwill toward men. That's why I call him the King of Peace, right? The King of Kings, right? I call him the King of Peace too. King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Prince of Peace. That's what it is, Prince of Peace. Peace. And the world clamors and craves peace. And everybody says they want peace, but they're not doing the one thing to get it. Controlling what they can control. We too busy trying to control everybody else except us. If a person ain't that bright, they just ain't that bright. Don't be mad at them. They can't help it themselves. You know, the way people process things, the way people see things, you didn't do any of that. You have no control over that. That is their thing. And if they can't see what's right in front of them, yeah. There you go. Peace is the most precious gift that you can have. It is the most precious thing that you can possess. And you get that by controlling, literally, what you can control. So I want to thank everybody for all the party and the celebration, hands and balloons and everything else. It's been a process, and we came into this year not even thinking. Yeah, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. And so we came into 2023 not even thinking that we would buy a house this year. I mean, we just got married the end of 22. We figured 23 would be a year that we just get our finances in order, be real intentional about where the money is going, what we're doing with it, and just recouping, because we spent a lot of bread the year before. And we honestly didn't really have it to spend. We just came through some stuff. But we decided to go make a memory. We decided to go, do something big that we would always have. Health Talk says have a wonderful day no matter what. That's right, my brother. That's right. And so now, because we were diligent, because we put our nose to the grindstone and we worked and we worked. We controlled the energy and the effort that we put out. And because of that, when opportunity came, we were prepared to take advantage of it. And that's a new feeling because, I've been behind that power curve so much and I see opportunities, but I can never take advantage. But that's changing. That's changed. I'm learning to control what I can control. I'm learning that I don't have to do everything. And you don't have to do everything. There's people who love doing what it is that you don't want to do. Appreciate them by paying them. Give them something. My wife, man, buddy, I ain't gonna gush over her today, but I'm telling you, game changer. Game changer. I got it. I failed before, but I got it right once. That's all I needed. That's all I needed, man. And so, look, this is not the last show for the year, but I just want to say happy holidays. Go out, make today the best you can make it. Live the life that you deserve to live. Be happy with yourself. Find peace. Find the peace by controlling what you can control and putting in proper perspective that people just are where they are. And if they can't see what they're missing, guess what? Because I bet money, I promise you, I get that, hey, big head, every time I go through my city. Because they had a shot, but they blew it. They won early, but they wasn't ready. So D-Rob, my boy, salute to you, my guy. Keep doing you. Control what you can control, and everything will be okay. Gonna work out. Y'all be blessed, man. I see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.